Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. This is going to be the last convoy battle in the Baltic between the Kaiserliche Marine and the Soviet Navy. And this is an interesting one, because it's the Prinz Adalbert and the Atlantis, two refitted Scharnhorst class heavy cruisers, which have been given a fair amount of 105mm secondaries. And they are up against a combined Swedish-Soviet force, two Swedish light cruisers of Italian make, or maybe Spanish by the looks of it, as well as a bunch of destroyers and 14 transports. So let's see how that ends up, because sinking convoys in the Baltic is the best way to ensure victory on the field. And I think we have made contact. Let's see what we spotted there. Instantly smoking up. That is one of the light cruisers. Followed, actually, I think that's both of the light cruisers. Perfect. So there are destroyers out there, but the Atlantis and the Prinz Adalbert are immediately opening up. And I guess the V-27 can get up to battle speed and sail around, spot torpedoes. Yep, there's one of the destroyers as well. So we'll see. Yep, there's the whole battle group. Okay. In that case, we will probably turn slightly to port, and we'll see if V-27 can get a drop on any of these. But I think that's a lot of firepower to take on, and I don't think she's going to hit anything with torpedoes. So we'll do away with the torpedoes for now. And probably just shadow the group and see what. Although, if we drop some torpedoes, they might run into it. You never know. Okay, if she can drop your torpedoes and just aggressively shadow the group while the two heavy cruisers are making their way in. And ideally, well, they're all sailing away. Ideally, they focus on the light cruisers first. We might have to avoid torpedoes here ourselves. So let's go in for a turn. Smoke screen up. V-27 full turn, and see if she can drop some torpedoes in the way. Yep, there come the torpedoes. There's going to be a lot of torpedoes in the water, so do have to stay on the ball here. See if she can drop her torpedoes against that destroyer over there, but I think the distance is too great, and the destroyer is not going to necessarily fall for it. But again, we are relying on the heavy cruisers here to make something happen. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get a drop off or two. But these heavies need to get a lot closer to come into effective secondary range. I mean, if they hit with the 254s, that would be great, but I don't have high hopes that that's going to happen. So V-27 has launched her torpedoes. I'm pretty sure the destroyer is going to evade these. Yeah, I think they've seen the incoming torpedoes, and I think they are avoiding them. Okay, I'm not sure if this destroyer has dropped torpedoes, so we do need to be somewhat careful. I think at this point V-27 can disengage a little and get back closer to the heavy cruisers. As these two are really the ones who need to make some. Oh yeah, there come the torpedoes. So V-27 is already in the turn, so that should be she should be able to avoid these without too much trouble. Yes, I think so. And I think V-27's torpedoes are not going to be hitting anything. Didn't expect that also. Just making sure that we're all safe outside the range. Then one of the problems that the Scharnhorsts are going to have is to actually catch these, because these things are a lot faster. I'm not sure about the light cruisers, but the destroyers are going to be faster. And to that end, it's gonna be a difficult proposition to try and hit these. But we'll see what we can do. And the secondaries are opening up, but so far we haven't managed to hit anything just yet. So V-27 has turned around, and We are going to disable the torpedoes again, and we'll just more or less sail in circles and spot torpedoes with her. Okay, we are starting to score a couple of hits, but the Dersky. But I think we do need to adjust our course here and get a little closer. But she's now sailing broadside on at, what is it, 5 kilometers? Still a bit far away for the secondaries to become really effective, especially that she's fast moving and in smoke. But we'll give chase with the heavy cruisers, and we'll see if we can eventually land some hits here. Otherwise, what we might do, because I think I've spotted the transport ships over there. Yeah, these are the transport ships. Otherwise, what we'll do is we're going to ignore the escorts for now, and just go for the transports. And maybe that's because I don't know if they still have torpedoes away, but maybe that's just something we can. Maybe we can just clear out the transports and then deal with the escorts if they give us a chance to. Otherwise, we might be ending up chasing after destroyers here until the end of the day. Oh, torpedo incoming, torpedo. Okay, hard turn. I think actually no, don't turn. Keep going. I think we're probably safe. Okay, first hit, actually. One of the 88s has managed to hit one of the destroyers. Is the Prince Adalbert safe from these torpedoes? I think she is. So stay the course. And yeah, that works. And we'll just head towards the transport ships, and then we might just wipe these out. Oh my gosh, there is a lot of these guys out there. But if they don't want to come in for an engagement, they're the defenders, right? It's their problem. They need to manage to defend their transports, and if they can't manage that, I'm going to send the heavy cruiser straight at the transports. We'll see if they can. If the secondary firepower is just sufficient to deter these destroyers, then we might just go after the transport straight up. We'll start with V27, honestly, and she can go around and see if she can start taking some pot shots at these transports, and we'll start focusing the main guns onto. Yeah, I think we will start focusing the main guns onto transports, honestly. So let's get that happening. We'll see if we can just start taking them out and force the hands of this escort, because I think that escort group is just trying to kite us and maybe get lucky with torpedoes. But yeah, no, they're just sailing away. So the primary target is the transport group. So if we can manage to get these transport destroyed, and then let's just focus our fire on these things. We use the secondaries to deter any kind of incursion by these destroyers. We'll see if they want to fight, if they want to come out and fight or not. But yeah, that's there we go. 254mm hit, and we've got a hit from the 88s on one of the destroyers. Lucky hit. I think the chances that we actually hit the destroyers is relatively low. The 88s are actually better than the 105s when it comes to that. So the 105mm triples are struggling at this range. The 88s are quite effective, actually. So, well, we'll let them do their job. And in the meantime, yep, there go the transports. There go the fireworks. So we'll make a nice pass. Okay, we're starting to draw fire, I think, from one of the. Yeah, they have okay, so they've definitely realized that they do need to to come in. So secondary focus on the Dursky, and we'll see if they manage to if they manage to get close, but otherwise we'll just do a pass along the transports, blow these up, and then wipe out the rest if they want to come out and fight. And if they don't, well, not too bad. So I think that's a decent course. 24 knots, full speed. And that's one transport. Transport or a destroyer? I think that was a transport, actually. Although, ooh, nice hit. That's one of the 88s. Again, the 88s are quite effective, really. So let's just use those. Are the transports armed? Is another question. I'm not sure. I don't see any incoming fire. Some of the transports we've engaged recently had 105mm guns. So some of them are armed, but maybe not these ones. We'll find out. Yeah, they're definitely coming, but that's if they want to give battle, they have to. They're going to start taking fire, and I think we are starting to score quite a few hits now with the. It's not so much the 105s; it's the 88s really that are shredding the destroyer here. So that caliber seems to be a really good one when it comes to dealing with these kind of ships. Honestly, the 105s are struggling a bit to land any meaningful hits. But the Dersky is definitely giving chase. Has gotten her rudder shot off at this point, and it doesn't look like we're that. Oh no, we are taking fire from the transports. Okay, V27 smoke up. Don't want to lose V27 here to fire from the transports. So there's no need for that. That's what we've got the heavy cruisers for. And yeah, Dersky trying to give chase is already looking a lot worse for wear. She's burning stem to stern, smoking all over, and there we go. It's the 88s that, and I think even that was one of the main guns that are going to cause them some trouble. There's another destroyer here which seems to be trying to the Dobrovolets, which is. Well, the Soviets are obviously more interested in saving their transports than potentially the Swedes are. But yeah, the Dersky doesn't look too good, and it looks like the Swedish ships are not interested in giving battle. So it's a little bit of a betrayal there for the Soviet Navy, I would say, almost, because it looks like their Swedish counterparts have mostly abandoned the transports and are just trying to save themselves, whereas the two lone Soviet destroyers are trying to get something done. But the Dersky itself is not in a great shape, and the Dobrovolets is not really a massive threat. So I don't think they actually had anything to harm our cruisers with. So, well, we'll wipe out the transports, and then we will turn around and deal with the destroyers if they still want to give battle. Well, due to the indecisiveness and initial cowardice of the Swedish Navy here, I'd have to unfortunately say, we have managed to absolutely wipe out that convoy, and we are now going to see if any of these destroyers still wants to come in and fight. It looks like the Swedish ships are still coming around, but we'll see if they're still willing to fight, if we can take down the Dobrovolets. So it's time to swing the guns around and change course and engage that ship. We'll see if we can take the Soviet destroyer out. I'm not too worried about the Swedes at this point. If they don't want to give battle, then it's their loss, really. Or well, not their loss, but I don't really have a huge issue with the Swedish Navy so far. They just seem to be wanting to join the fray a little bit. We'll see if we can close the range. And we'll see what these. I want to see what what the heavy cruisers are capable of in a close range engagement against enemy destroyers with the blistering array of secondaries that they have, and if they can make anything happen. But V27 is not going to be outdone. She has done her duty when it comes to dealing with the enemy transports, but she's now going to smoke up, and we'll see if we can get a torpedo drop off. But it looks like the Dobrovolets, given that the transports have been sunk together with the Swedish destroyers, is now disengaging, and yeah, it does not look like that these guys want to give battle in general. Especially the Swedes are running, but now the Soviets. I think the Dersky has been damaged to the point probably that she can't keep up. But yeah, there's nothing to defend anymore, and they are running. They're literally running at this point. And I would call that a successful convoy raid, but we'll see if we can still catch one or two of the destroyers. V27 has launched torpedoes against the damaged Dersky. We'll see if with her rudder problems she can actually avoid those. We've got two spreads of torpedoes sailing through here, and we'll see if any of these can manage to hit, or if the Soviet destroyer can get away with this. Maybe the right spread might be hitting. And yep, we've got torpedo hits on the Dersky. Well done, V27. It's probably about time you get out of there then. And the heavy cruisers are going in, but again the problem is they can't really catch the destroyers. So if they want to, they can disengage. But the Dersky is damaged, is flooding from the torpedo hits, and we might be able to catch at least her still. So let's get V27 turned around, just in case there are any incoming torpedoes from the Soviet and Swedish side, and see that we can finish off the Dersky. And then we can probably, well, we'll see if we can still catch one or two more. Otherwise we'll disengage and let them live to fight another day. At least the Swedes. And I think we just... oh, no, that was main belt penetration from V27's 105s, actually. That's doing in the Dersky. There it is. And I think that kill goes to V27, to be honest. Well done. And we're now taking the Swedish light cruisers under fire. They have laid smoke. And we do obviously need to worry about torpedoes a bit, so I'm going to start turning in here. But it looks like they are getting close enough that we can actually engage them. So let's do a slight turn. We'll drop speed down to 21 knots. And at this range, yeah, you do not want to engage the Scharnhorst class pocket battleships in at that range. These heavy cruisers pack on a lot of firepower. So I think that Swedish cruiser is going to be in all kinds of trouble. They were trying to kite away for a while, but it looks like they are trying to come in for a torpedo run. At which case we're gonna accelerate again to all ahead flank, and see if we can take this thing out before they get into a position to drop their torpedoes successfully. At this range, we should be able to make something happen. It's mostly the maneuvers that are throwing us off right now, but once we straighten the ships out, then that should not be so much of an issue anymore. And there comes the second light cruiser as well. They're taking a beating here, and we only need one or two good hits on the main guns to make short work of these. I mean, we're fighting now at under 2 kilometers, so I think I'm not sure if they're trying to go for a torpedo run or if they're just at this point concerned about their honor, but this is not a This is not a fight you want to take, really, in a light cruiser. Yeah, there comes the torpedo run. So let's detach the Prince Adalbert and drop speed and turn into the torpedo. Let's see if we can manage to avoid this torpedo. We'll put her in reverse. And I think that will be awfully close. Oh, we might take that one. Yep, unfortunately we have taken that torpedo. I've not managed to avoid it. So Prince Adalbert has taken the torpedo and is flooding in the bow section now. So we'll leave the speed at 20 knots, but they've been avoiding fire so far. They still look relatively well. So, okay, let's see if we can get some revenge in. Prince Adalbert is losing speed quite rapidly from the flooding in the bow section, but the Atlantis is still going. Let's see, V-27 is still in a gun duel with one of the destroyers over there. And I think the Atlantis needs to switch fire to that cruiser that is rushing her right now, whereas the Prince Adalbert is trying to get the flooding under control in the bow section. There's still the Dobrovolets coming in, so I am surprised that these light cruisers are oh, torpedo detonation, nice. So she doesn't have torpedoes anymore. The Minerva might still have, but we'll get the Prince Adalbert. Prince Adalbert has taken a lot of water from that torpedo hit in the bow section. That was surprisingly effective. So Swedish torpedoes are dangerous, but now we've got the Campania at point blank range, and I think we can cross the T of that thing. That's V-27 to give chase on these destroyers, and yeah, come on, give me a nice detonation or something. The main guns of Atlantis should be dealing the blow here. Prince Adalbert can only make 20 knots, so let's drop speed. Let's drop speed here on the Atlantis as well, that we're not actually outrunning, and we'll be able to give fire support still. But I think the Prince Adalbert can still, she can still get her guns on target, and even though she's flooding quite heavily, I think she can still she can definitely still fight. Is she having her gun? Is she having her? Yeah, she is sailing in reverse right now. So let's change that back again, and not that we're getting rammed or anything, and see that she can finish off that one. And I think the Atlantis has taken some damage, but these light cruisers aren't bad. I'm quite surprised. They are definitely. She needs to turn around now and link up with the Prince Adalbert again. But they are quite sturdy. I'm surprised that they survived this long. Normally, light cruisers just go, well, they just go pop more or less. But it looks like these guys are made of sterner stuff. Okay, she is sinking. Take on the Minerva. She's got the most guns, and we've got V-27 chasing after enemy destroyers, and we've got the Prince Adalbert, which is in a. Okay, take on the Dobrovolets then, will you? Which is in a turn. She is a bit sluggish. She has taken on the water. That thing is still sending torpedoes at the Prince Adalbert, actually. But we'll drop speed further. Don't want to have... I don't think... Okay, they've taken out the torpedo. So that's fine. Get back up to 20 knots. Atlantis can speed up to 22 again. And finish off the Minerva. And yeah, we've taken a lot more damage than I thought we would. So I'm surprised with these light cruisers. Okay, the destroyer doesn't want anymore, so focus down the Minerva. And V-27 is chasing that enemy destroyer there. So we'll see if she can She doesn't have any more torpedoes, but maybe she can make something happen with the guns here. Prince Adalbert up to 20 knots. Just needs to pump out the water in the front compartments and get that whole torpedo hole fixed. But we'll see if we can, if she can get some revenge on that light cruiser. Well, that's what I call a crossfire. So we have a destroyer here. So let's focus the secondaries on that thing. Actually, in fact, let's focus all the guns on the Atlantis on that thing, and the Prince Adalbert can finish off the... Oh, she's got another destroyer. Are they coming in for ramming speed? It almost looks like they're coming in for a ram, to be honest. There's not an awful lot that the Prince Adalbert's going to be able to do to avoid that. Focus all the secondaries on the other side on that ship, but yeah, it looks like the destroyer is coming in for the ram against the Prince Adalbert. And that is a brave maneuver. Yep, she is causing some damage here, some ramming damage on the Prince Adalbert, is taking damage in return. Okay, finish off the Minerva. And the Atlantis needs to turn around and finish off that destroyer if she can. They're swarming at this point. Where's the V-27? V-27 help out with that destroyer here. We're mostly over-penetrating the light cruiser. She is flooding, and most of her engines are damaged, and she just generally doesn't look good. But we'll just need a couple of good hits here. Okay, Atlantis, take on this thing. I think Prince Adalbert's secondaries can focus on that as well. And we've got V-27 closing in. The light cruiser is flooding significantly, and I think she will be going down, but well, we'll see. Making the Rossellino Pilo makes a pass now. So focus the secondaries on the other side on that ship and see if she can take her down. Okay, the Minerva is sinking, so that's that thing down. And which means the Atlantis and the Prince Adalbert can maybe deal with the rest of these destroyers here, if they can get a good shot on them, that is. In fact, actually, let the Atlantis turn on the other side, Prince Adalbert turn out, and we'll see if we can get V-27 to give chase. The Garibaldino has taken some hits. There's still a couple of destroyers floating around here. Let's get the two cruisers into a new position, and we've got another one here. Yeah, it's interesting. The Swedes were really hesitant initially to engage, but in the end, smoke up here. In the end, they came out too late, a day late and $1 short, really, or kroner short, and have paid with their ships for this, although not without doing some damage here. So Prince Adalbert is definitely going to need to go to dry dock and get that hole fixed. And V-27 has just taken a nasty shot in the rudder. Let's see if she can return the favor. Yeah, she's definitely flooding quite a bit now. And I think she is actually a little bit in trouble here, because due to her list, she can't get the guns on target. Let's see if she can get the guns on target the other direction, but rudder's been shot. Okay, Atlantis take on the Garibaldino, which also doesn't have rudder. And Prince Adalbert drop speed further to 15 knots. And see if you can deal with that with the Dobrovolets now. And it looks like another destroyer there is going for the ram, actually. The Garibaldino is trying to ram, and she is taking fire from the Atlantis that is rushing in, trying to save the V-27 here. And I think we've managed, although I think we've got a problem of friendly fire at this point. That V-27 is taking shots from... Is she taking shots from the Atlantis? I'm not sure, but she's taken on a lot of damage and is taking on some water. Atlantis is getting hits on the Garibaldino. This is an extremely close range fight here. Prince Adalbert is still trying to deal with the Dobrovolets. And another destroyer coming in for the ram. Penetration on the Garibaldino. I think V-27 needs to retreat. So let's get her to retreat. Atlantis should be able to finish off the rest of them at point blank range against the Bassini. And the 88s are going to absolutely shred that destroyer. They don't seem to be having torpedoes anymore, so we don't really have to be afraid of anything there. And the main guns have the high explosive loaded, so we're just over penetrating mostly at this point. But I think that the Angelo Bassini is going to go down. There's no way she's getting out of that barrage. And while they are doing some damage at this range, yep, she's done for. So turn the guns around and take on the Garibaldino. The Prince Adalbert is a little bit... Oh no, she's still hammering the Dobrovolets, so she needs to turn around. Is there anyone left? I think there's one. Yeah, the Rossolino Pilo is running away, and I think the Atlantis is about to finish off the Garibaldino, and then we've dealt with. We'll let the last one escape, so they can tell a story when they get back to port about how you do not mess with German heavy cruisers. So let's get that one sorted out. These are not bad destroyers though. The Swedish ships definitely have fought well in this engagement. I'll give them that. And worthy adversaries have done some damage to the heavy cruisers, especially that one torpedo hit that we haven't managed to avoid. But yeah, in the end, they have lost their forces. So yeah, Garibaldino has been sunk, and we're going to end the battle here and disengage. So all in all, we have sunk 2 Swedish light cruisers, 5 destroyers. One of the Swedish ones got away, and 14 Soviet transports. So I would say that is a significant victory for the German Navy. And that concludes not the series, but the battle in the Baltics. We've sunk a crazy amount of Soviet shipping. Hopefully this will help with the offensive on the ground. We do have some ships that are needing to be repaired, but we are going to start seeing the X-30 class of destroyers coming into commission relatively soon. As far as I remember, these were torpedo boats. We've got a couple of ships currently in repair. The Sachsen, the Hessen, the Derfflinger, the Prince Adalbert, the Atlantis, the Scharnhorst. So definitely be a fight on that we've had here. But let's have a very quick look at the X-30s. Because honestly, it's been a while, and yes, these were gunboats, I think. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe these were 105 mils. Yeah, these are 105 millimeters plus 51 millimeters somewhere, probably in the superstructure. So three turrets. Oh no, on the sides here actually. 3 turrets aft, 1 center, 1 forward, and a twin torpedo launcher. So the X-30s are gunboats, and we will see. I've got some smaller guns here on the sides. Yeah, 50 millimeter guns on the sides, and the 105 millimeter 105mm guns, and and 2 torpedo launchers aft and 2 torpedo launcher center line. So we'll see how well these are faring, because they will be commissioned soon, and hopefully we'll see them soon in battle. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.